Hey guys,
Get ready with us as we
explain to you
microplastics.
So microplastics are tiny pieces of plastic that are less than 5 millimeters in size. Microplastics come from larger plastic that break down over time, like plastic bottles, bags, and clothing. Even though microplastics are really small, they're still harmful to living creatures like us and the environment. There are two main sources of microplastics. The first one is primary microplastics. These are tiny plastics that are made intentionally, like microbeads found in face wash and toothpaste. Another source are microfibers that come from synthetic clothing like polyester when we wash them. The second source is secondary microplastics, which are created from larger plastics that break down into smaller pieces. This can happen when plastic waste is exposed to the sunlight and waves of the ocean. Microplastics are everywhere, from the air we breathe to the water we drink. Reducing plastic use and properly recycling can help us limit the spread of microplastics in the environment.
Microplastics cause so much damage. What can we do to limit our intake of them? When we cut on plastic cutting boards, the knife also cuts on the plastic, and we end up just putting those microplastics right in the food that we're going to be eating. So instead, we should opt for using wooden cutting boards and glass cutting boards. Another thing we can do is keep our food in glass containers instead of keeping them in plastic containers. One very negative thing that we do is that we heat up our food in plastic containers. Instead, we should try to heat up our food in glass or ceramics. We should try to buy less plastic encased foods and drinks, especially water. Instead, we can opt for reusable bottles, like stainless steel bottles or aluminum bottles.
So let's talk about some research. One research I was glad to hear about when I was doing my own research was the NOAA funding projects to figure out more data on microplastic pollution in our oceans and how that's affecting marine life. Hey, I'm back with my face mask on. Bear with me, I know I look crazy, but let's keep talking about microplastic. Research is important because with policies, and policies are important to make a difference. We need laws to implement change. For example, in 2015, the US passed the Microbead Free Waters Act. Basically what this act did, it banned any cosmetic products from containing tiny particles of plastic, because once you would wash it away and it would go into the drains, it would enter other waterways and end up in our oceans. And even better, other 50 countries and regions also put this ban on their own cosmetic products. In our own state of Florida, there's grand efforts to minimizing microplastics. For example, in Miami Beach and Key West, they locally have bans of single-use plastic bags and straws to minimize the effect of plastics going into our environment, and specifically the ocean. Please make an effort to educate yourself and advocate for a change when it comes to microplastics in our world.
So microplastics are literally found everywhere. Plastic does not break down fully, so we can find them in the air that we breathe, we can find them in the ocean, we can find them in our soil, and this has detrimental effects to our environment. So marine life like fishes, crabs, even plankton can actually digest microplastics, and this can really cause problems that can lead to death in the marine life. For example, it can block their digestive system, it can stunt their growth, and much worse, and that just has a really bad effect on the ecosystem. When plastic waste breaks down in landfills, it can actually get into the soil, and it can harm plants, stunt their growth, and just prevent them from growing. And if that wasn't enough, microplastics actually release toxic chemicals into the environment, which are super harmful for the wildlife. Our bodies actually contain microplastics, and as we know, plastic does not fully break down, so these have long-term effects on our bodies. Since microplastics carry harmful chemicals, this can lead to hormone disruption, reproductive issues, and even certain cancers. This can also trigger inflammation in our bodies, which can lead to a bunch of problems down the line. This is a major concern, especially when we think about how they're affecting our organs and immune systems. Think about it, plastics in our bloodstreams, in our lungs, and even crossing our brains is a major concern for our overall health. That's why it's very important to be overall mindful of reducing plastics in our day-to-day lives.
In the process, we're helping our environment, and we're helping our health too. Thanks for learning with us. Share this video so that others can learn too.
Thank you for listening.
Bye!
Comment microplastics if you like this video.